trying to get a workout in. I know I've been recording classes that are longer than an hour, and it seems like exhale, we're right, like we're backing out of our parking spot. Exhale to center. Inhale, we'll slide our chin to the right, like we're backing out of our parking spot. Exhale to center. Inhale, we'll slide our chin to the left. We usually do this with our eyes open. With an inhale, we'll come back to center. We'll gently undo the interlace, extending our arms out, finding the muscular resistance, pausing it parallel. Let's draw our right hand behind us, hook our left arm to the outside of our leg. Inhale, lengthening, creating space. Exhale, turning our belly, heart, and gaze. Inhale, lengthening, filling our chest. Exhale, using that left hand as a hinge, bringing out our belly, deepening our twist. With an inhale, we'll uncoil, return back to center. We'll open our eyes. We'll take our hand shoulder distance behind us. With an inhale, we'll draw our navel to our spine. We'll bend our elbows back. Exhale, let's spread out all 10 fingers. Lift our sternum to the sky. Roll our shoulders to our ears and down our back. Finding our chest expansion. Or perhaps lifting our pelvis, sliding our knees forward, finding the opening in the hip flexor of the front leg. Exhale, we'll slowly release back down into our simple cross-leg, restacking our spine. We can gently lift up our knees and crisscross in the other direction. We'll bring our palms to touch and interlace the left finger. This time we'll keep our eyes open as we normally do. With an inhale, we draw our navel to our spine, extending our arms forward, lifting up. Exhale, melting our shoulders down our back. Inhale, sliding our chin to the left. Exhale to center. Inhale, sliding our chin to the right, like we're backing out of our parking spot. Exhale to center. With an inhale, we'll gaze to our fingers. We'll slowly exhale, gaze forward, gently undoing the interlace, extending our arms out, finding the muscular resistance, pausing it parallel. Let's draw our left hand behind us, hook our right arm to the outside of our leg. Inhale, lengthening, creating space. Exhale, turning our belly, heart, and gaze. Inhale, lengthening, wherever in our twist. Exhale, we'll use that right hand as a hinge, bringing out our belly, deepening our twist. With an inhale, let's uncoil, return back to center. We'll take our hands shoulder distance apart once again. Inhale, we'll draw our navel to our spine, bend our elbows back. Exhale, we'll spread effort between our 10 fingers. Our sternum lifts higher, shoulders roll to our ears and down our back. Stay here, once again, focusing on our chest or lift our pelvis, sliding our knees forward, opening up the hip flexor, the leg that's crossed in front. With an exhale, we'll release ourselves back down into our simple cross leg, gently elongating our spine. Lifting up our knees, we'll roll onto one hip or another, no preference. We'll find our way to all fours. I'm not using a yoga mat, so we don't have a mat. Slide along the carpet. If you're on your yoga mat, just make sure that your middle fingers are parallel to the sides of your mat, thumbs aiming towards one another. Let's put that imaginary quarter between our shoulder blades. Inhale into our seated, into our cat. Tucking our chin, tucking our tail, lifting that quarter to the sky. Exhaling into our cow, holding that quarter between our shoulder blades as we gaze in front of our fingertips. Let's close our eyes, exaggerating our cat, tucking our chin, tucking our tail. And then exaggerating our cow. Moving at the pace that's best for you for about 3 more breath cycles. And after you've taken around 3 cat and cows at the pace that's best for you, find a child's pose. It'll be in our child's pose that we meet together and begin to move. Our cat and cow feels best when all the joints in our arms are stacked and 90% of our movement is through that upper body, maybe even 95. Very small movements through that lower body. Once we arrive in our child's pose, we make sure we take a moment to smile, taking any tension out of our jaw. With an inhale, let's shimmy our hands to the left, going only as far as we don't lift our glutes from that original position. At the last moment, let's press our fingertips into the ground and rotate our chest in the direction of our left leg. Inhale, filling our right lung with air, expanding our lung capacity, stretching out our shirt. Exhale a nourishing breath to our lower back. Exhale a nourishing breath to our lower back. One more nice long inhalation and an equally long exhale. Staying low, we'll walk our hands through center and to the right, going only as far as we don't lift our glutes in that original position. At the last moment, we press our fingertips into the ground and we rotate our chest in the direction of our right leg. Inhale, filling our left lung with air, expanding our lung capacity, stretching our shirt. Exhale, a nourishing breath to our lower back. Inhaling, stretching our intercostal muscles. Exhale, a nourishing breath to our lower back. One more nice long inhalation and an equally long exhale. Staying low, we'll walk our hands through center. We'll open our eyes, making sure our hands are only shoulder distance apart, and we'll find our way back to all fours. Our knees are a little wide, so we'll bring them back to be about hip distance. With an inhale, we'll exaggerate our cat, tuck your chin, tuck your tail. We'll curl our toes, and we'll find our first down dog high on our tippy toes. With an inhale, we'll bend one knee, lower the opposite heel. Exhale, vice versa, pedaling out our feet. Stretching our calves and our Achilles with a conservative knee bend. We're taking a little bit more adventurous knee bend to get into our lower back, customizing our practice. 2 more breath cycles wherever we happen to be. 1 more. With an inhale, we'll come high on our tippy toes. Exhale, we'll simultaneously lower our heels towards the mat. We'll draw our thighs back towards the wall behind us, lift our shoulders to our hips, turning our armpits towards our yogi mat neighbors as we gaze to our navel and Nadyasana. We'll allow our head to be passive, finding our perfect day frame. Gently walking our hands back to our feet, we soften our knees if our hamstrings would let. And when we arrive at the back of our mat, we take the deep enough knee bend to place our first 2 fingers and thumbs around our big toes. Inhale, elongating our spine. Exhale, bending our elbows wide, folding our heart to our thighs, lifting our shoulders to our hips, nodding yes and no. We'll allow our head to be passive, lengthening our legs. Letting gravity do the work for 2 more breaths or so, smiling in the direction of our legs for 1. Exhale, deep bend in our knees, hands to our hips, tailbone descends, spine stacks. We'll bring ourselves to upright. Inhale, lifting our arms high, palms connect. Exhale, elbows bend, thumbs descend, lengthening our triceps. Inhale, fingers high. Exhale, deep knee bend, protects our back as we hinge. Inhaling into our half lift. Exhale, bending our elbows, folding our heart to our thighs. We'll soften our knees, place our fingers by our toes, and we'll walk ourselves out into our plank. Carefully lowering to our bellies, letting the fronts of our feet touch. Inhaling into our cobra, shoulders roll to our ears and down our back. Hands on the ground for flexibility. Or hovering for strength, yogi choice. We'll gaze at the floor in front of us for 2 more breaths, holding that imaginary quarter between our shoulder blades for 1. Hands down at the throat. We'll curl our toes, press our heels in a chaturanga, and inhale into our downward facing dog. And from our down dog, let's walk footprint by footprint to the front of our mats, lengthening our hamstrings, softening our knees as needed. When we arrive at the front of our mat, we'll find a chair, navel draws in, tailbone descends, arms extend 3/4 up the wall in front of us. With an inhale, we'll fill our chest with air, hands to prayer at our heart. Exhale, let's hook our left arm to the outside of our right leg. Keeping right knee and hip in alignment, knees in alignment. Inhale, the crown of our head extends, and with an exhale, we press our hands into one another, stacking roots, shoulders, elbows. Hands of prayer, fly, or half bind. Tailbone anchoring to the floor, heart rotating to the side wall. 2 more breaths. 1. With an exhale, we meet with our hands of prayer. We gaze to our feet. We transition weight off our left leg. Inhale, let's stride back with our right leg, left knee up or down, yogi choice. Inhale, the crown of our head extends, and with an exhale, we press our hands once again into one another, stacking ribs, shoulders, elbows. Hands of prayer, fly or bind, yogi choice. Finding where our body needs to be. Rotating our thoracic spine, expanding our chest for 2 more breaths. 1. Let's meet at prayer. Whether our knee is up or down, we'll all fly with an inhale. With our next inhale, our arms find the length of our mat. With an exhale, the right hand descends, left arm lifts. We're strong from our waist down and flexible from our waist up. 2 more breath cycles, shoulders melting down our back. 1 more, thighs drawing to the midline. Inhale back to center, palms connect. Exhale, elbows bend, thumbs descend, lengthening our triceps once again. Exhale, our hands rest under our shoulders, fingertips resting on the ground, chest and our thigh. Inhale, rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin. Exhaling into our lunge, knee over ankle, shoulders lengthened to our hips. Inhale, rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin. Exhaling into our lunge. 2 more, rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin. Exhaling into our lunge. 1 more, rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin. Exhaling into our lunge. We'll soften our left knee, step our left foot forward to join our right. With an inhale, we'll bring ourselves to upright. Exhale, mini back bend, elbows wide, heart lifts, give curve between our legs. Inhale, fingers high. Exhale, we'll find our chair, hands to prayer at our heart. Inhale, our chest fills. With an exhale, the right arm hooks to the outside of our leg. Knees joined, left hip in line with our knee. Inhale, the crown of our head extends, and with an exhale, we press our hands into one another, stacking ribs, shoulders, elbows. Hands at prayer, fly or half bind. Rotating our heart to the side wall and anchor, drawing our sacrum to the ground. 2 more breaths wherever we are. 1. With an exhale, we'll meet at prayer. We'll gaze to our feet. Transition weight to our left foot, taking a little off the right. With an inhale, we stride back with our right knee up or down, yogi choice. Inhale, the crown of our head extends again. With an exhale, we press our hands into one another, stacking ribs, shoulders, elbows. Hands at prayer, fly or bind, yogi choice. Finding where our body wishes to be on the second side. 3 more breaths wherever we happen to be. 2. 1. We'll meet at prayer. Inhale, we fly. Inhale, our arms find the length of our mat. With an exhale, the left hand descends, the right arm lifts. We're strong from our waist down, flexible from our waist up for 3 more breaths. 2. 1. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, fingers high. Exhale, hands under our shoulders. Inhale, rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin. Exhaling into our lunge, shoulders lengthened to our hips. Inhale, rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin, lifting our left toes for more space. Exhaling into our lunge. 2 more times, rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin. Exhaling into our lunge, last one. Rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin. Exhaling into our lunge. We'll soften our right knee, step forward to join our left. Inhale, drawing our navel to our spine, lifting our arms high. Exhale, mini back bend 1 more time, elbows wide, heart lifts, give carve between our legs. Inhale, fingers high. Exhale, deep knee bend, protects our back as we hinge. Inhaling into our half lift. Exhale, bending our elbows, folding our heart to our thighs. We'll soften our knees, place our fingers by our toes, and let's stride back with our left leg, surrendering our left knee to the ground. We'll bend our left knee, heel to our glute, left palm or fist under our shoulder, maybe on a block. Inhale, the right hand high fives the side wall. We aim our palm to the little toe side of our foot. Left hand remains on the floor as we rotate our heart. Maybe forearm to our thigh for instability. Perhaps forearm to the ground, finding where we'd like to be. 3 more breaths wherever our body's taking us. 2. 1. With an exhale, we'll meet with our hands under our shoulders, left leg surrenders. We'll gently curl our toes, find our high lunge. We'll pivot our left heel to the ground, heel to heel alignment. Prepare for warrior one. Hands to prayer by our right big toe. Inhale, our legs are strong. Exhale, we float up into our warrior one, shoulders melting down our back. Arms shoulder width, interlace or cactus. With an inhale, let's look at a spot on the wall in front of us. Follow that spot up the wall, through the ceiling, into a back bend. Shoulders melt down our back, a hot air balloon lifts our heart to the sky. Lifting and lowering our toes, anchoring from our waist down. Imagine that back leg presses into a baseboard. One more breath. Inhale, traditional warrior one. Exhale, externally rotating our left hip, warrior two, palms up. Inhale, our right arm sliding forward a little. Exhaling into our reverse warrior with or without our bind. Lengthening from right hip to shoulder, strengthening left hip to heel. 3 more breaths wherever our body's taking us. Externally rotating our hips to unlock the base of our spine for 2, 1. Inhaling into our warrior two. Exhale, we'll cartwheel our hands down, step back into our plank. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. Let's look to our hands. We'll soften our knees. Step forward to join our hands. Staying low, chest to our thighs, elbows behind our knees, wrists behind our ankles, or fingers under our heels. We'll surrender the crown of our head to the ground, closing our eyes. Let's lift our shoulders to our hips, to our navel, to our spine, and lengthen our legs without losing the connection of our chest and our arms. Gravity is helping us find space in our hamstrings. As we inhale, we provide an opportunity to unlock underneath our shoulder blades, taking tension from our upper back. 3 more breaths wherever we are. 2, 1. Exhale, deep bend in our knees, eyes open, hands to our hips. Tailbone descends, spine stacks. We bring ourselves to upright, lifting our arms high. Exhale, elbows bend, thumbs descend, lengthening our triceps once again. Inhale, fingers high. Exhale, deep knee bend, protects our back as we hinge. Inhaling into our half lift. Exhale, bending our elbows, folding our heart to our thighs. We'll soften our knees, place our fingers by our toes, and we'll stride back with our right leg, surrendering our right knee to the ground. Bending our knee, aiming our heel to our glute. Right palm or fist under our shoulder or hand on a block. Inhale, left arm high fives the side wall. Let's aim our palm towards the little toe side of our foot, encouraging our heel to our glute, stretching our quad. Right hand on the floor. Forearm on the thigh for a little instability. Or forearm to the ground for just a little bit more. 3 more breaths wherever your body's taking you. 2, 1. Let's meet with our hands under our shoulders, right leg surrenders. Curling our toes, lifting our heels into a high lunge. We'll pivot our right heel to the ground, hands to prayer by our left big toe, warrior one. Inhale, our legs are strong. Exhale, we float up, shoulders roll to our ears and down our back. Arms shoulder width, interlace or cactus, gazing past that spot we see on the wall in front of our eyes. Up the wall, through the ceiling, finding our back bend, shoulders melting down our back, hot air balloon lifting our heart to the sky. The back foot is resting into a baseboard. 3 more breaths, heart lifting to the sky. 2, 1. Inhale, arms high, gazing forward. Exhale, opening our right hip. Inhale, palms up, sliding our left arm forward a little. Exhaling into a reverse warrior with or without our bind. Finding where your body would like to be today. Stretching from left hip to shoulder, lengthening and strengthening right hip to heel. The more we stretch our side body, the more we're working in our immune system. 2 more breaths. 1. Inhaling back into our warrior two. Exhale, we'll cartwheel our hands down, step back into our plank. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. Let's aim our right heel back to the wall behind us. With an inhale, we'll walk our hands back until they rest under our shoulders. We'll soften our left knee, place our hands on our thigh for strength and warrior three balance. Maybe our hands on our hips to keep us honest, hips and shoulders square to the mat. Perhaps our hands are a prayer or a fly. Or interlacing the left finger by our sacrum, reaching our hands back for more of a chest expansion. 2 more breaths and we'll balance in tree. 1. Exhale, hands to our hips. We soften our knees, impersonating our flamingo. Let's externally rotate our right hip, tiptoe to the floor. Tailbone descends, crown of our head lifts. Keep our tiptoe on the floor, maybe foot to the calf, maybe inner aspect of our thigh. Just not any sideways pressure on our knee, because we don't want to cause ourselves any discomfort. Hands to our lower back to strengthen. Hands to prayer, traditional tree, the effort of our hands pressing into one another is the same as the effort of our foot and our leg. Perhaps we let our tree limbs grow. Maybe our arms are shoulder width or cactus. Maybe we feel more of our chest expansion, holding elbows behind our back, or perhaps taking reverse angel ring or reverse prayer behind our sternum. Gazing at a spot on the floor in front of us. Tailbone descends, crown of our head lifts. We're here for 4 more breaths. 3, 2, 1. We'll meet with our hands at our hips. Inhale, we'll feel our chest, right leg hovers. Exhale, softening our left knee, hands under our shoulders, we'll walk ourselves out into our plank. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. Let's lift our left leg, bring our thigh close to parallel. Inhale, we'll walk our hands back till they rest under our shoulders. Softening our right knee, we'll place our hands in our thigh. Maybe our hips, prayer airplane, or interlacing the right finger by our sacrum. Finding the warrior three balance and choice, squaring our hips and shoulders to the mat. Aiming our heel to the wall, toes wiggling to the floor for 4 more breaths. Finding what's best for us for 3, then we'll find tree. 2 more breaths. 1. Exhale, hands to our hips, we soften our knees. Impersonate our flamingo again, finding our balance on the right leg, externally rotating the left, tiptoe to the floor. Foot to the calf or inner aspect of our thigh. Taking the hand position that's best for us, perhaps the same hand position we had the first time, or a different one. We have 2 chances to expand our chest in tree. 1 chance for each leg to balance. 1 chance for each hip to open. 3 more breaths, gazing at a spot on the floor in front of us. 2 more breaths wherever we are. 1. Exhale, we'll let our hands rest on our hips. We'll release our left leg to a hover. Inhale, filling our chest with air. Exhale, softening our right knee, hands under our shoulders. We'll walk ourselves out into our plank. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. In inner down dog, let's lift up onto our tippy toes. With an exhale, we'll pivot into the little toe side of our right foot and our left arch. Our right knees will soften. We'll lift our left hip to the sky. Stretching through that left side body. Inhaling back into our tippy toes. Exhale, pivot into the little toe side of our left foot and our right arch. Our left knee will soften. We'll reach our right hip to the sky. Inhaling back onto our tippy toes. Exhale, simultaneously lowering our heels towards the ground. Drawing our thighs back to the wall, lifting our shoulders to our hips, turning our armpits towards our yogi mat neighbors, gazing to our navel, nodding us to no. We can stay here in down dog with our big toes touching. Or we could lift our right leg high. Maybe come up onto the ball of our left foot. Perhaps bend our knees, stack our hip, gaze under our left armpit at our heel. Stillness stretches the quad, circling the knee in space, unlocks the hip. Find what's right for 3 more breaths. 2, One. Let's all look to our hands, and we'll step our right foot wider than our right hand, surrendering our left knee to the ground, preparing for a runner's lunge. Option one, right away. Draw our forearms to the ground if our hip is happy and open. If we want to create more space, heel to toe, walk the right foot a little wider, inch a little bit more forward, pivot onto the little toe side of our foot, and then surrender our arms down. Shoulders aiming to our hips, we close our eyes. If we want a little bit more, we could curl the left toes, elevate the knee. Wherever we are, it's 4 more breaths, smiling in the direction of the floor, shoulders aiming to our hips. 3 more breaths, opening up that right hip. 2, 1. If our left knee is up, we'll release it down. Hands under our shoulders, eyes open. Inhale, right foot walks back, heel to toe until we find that simple lunge. Let's allow our chest to rest on our thigh, the crown of our head to surrender down to our foot. With an inhale, we'll sweep our hands back to our sacrum, interlace the left finger by our body. Starting low in our humble warrior, inhale, hands reach away from our body to the ceiling, towards the wall in front. Keep the fingers interlaced for medium, palms together for more. We can hold on to elbows for less. Keep the knee on the ground or curl the toes. Find high lunge. Allow the left heel to descend. Or perhaps toppling tree and balancing. Gazing at our right foot wherever we happen to be for 4 more breaths. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, toppling trees gracefully come down, knees on the ground, build up. We'll meet with our interlaced hands in our sacrum. We'll gently undo the interlaced hands under our shoulders. We'll step back into our plank. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. Stay here with our big toes touching or lift our left leg high. Maybe come up onto the ball of our right foot to stretch our arch. Perhaps bend our knees, stack our hip gaze under our armpit at our heel. Stillness stretches the quad, circling the knee in space, unlocks our hip. Find what you need for 3 more breaths. 2, 1. Let's all look to our hands. And we'll step our left foot wider than our hands, surrender that right knee to the ground. And we'll find our runner's lunge. Either immediately bring our elbows to the ground or creating more space. Walking the foot out, inching forward and pivoting onto the little toe side of our foot. Finding where we need to be. As we work to unlock our hip, getting past that fight or flight breath into that long, even yogic breath. We try not to add any tension to our upper back. We aim our shoulders to our hips. We smile in the direction of the floor. We're here for 2 more breaths. 1. Let's meet with our hands under our shoulders, eyes opening. Heel to toe, we bring that left foot back into our simple lunge. We'll curl our right toes, bring our right heel to the ground. Starting in our traditional humble warrior, sweeping our hands back, interlacing the right finger. Inhale, our hands draw away from our body to the ceiling, towards the wall in front. Draw the knee down to the ground as we began on the other side. Maybe stay here, or perhaps come into toppling tree. Each side is different, each day is different. Find what you need. I'm showing you a different approach. I'm showing you a different place to rest in the pose. 3 more breaths wherever we are, gazing around our left foot, no strain on our neck. 2, 1. With an exhale, toppling trees come down, knees on the ground, build up. We meet with our interlaced hands in our sacrum. We'll allow our hands to rest under our shoulders. We'll step back into our plank. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. And in our down dog, we can stay right here with our big toes touching or lift our right leg high. Maybe come up onto the ball of our left foot. Perhaps with an exhale, we draw our right knee towards our left elbow for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, right leg high. We'll look to our hands and step our right foot forward into our lunge. Pivot the left up 45, heel to heel. Preparing for warrior one again. Hands to prayer by right big toe. Inhale, our legs are strong. Exhale, we float up. Let's straighten our right leg. Exhale, arm shoulder distance, goalpost, or take a humble warrior arm. Wherever we happen to be in our warrior one arm, we'll soften our right knee so our knee rests over our ankle. Inhale, we feel our chest. Exhale, we gaze past that spot on the wall through the ceiling, finding our back bend. If we have our humble warrior arms, our hands slide down our leg. Or if our arms are traditional as they were the first time, our shoulders continue to melt down our back. We all have that hot air balloon lifting our heart to the sky. We're here for 2 more breaths. 1. Inhale, traditional warrior 1. Exhale, we'll open to our warrior 2, palms up. Inhale, right arm slides forward a little. Exhale, back into a reverse warrior where we've already been. Stretching right hip to shoulder, lengthening left hip to heel. 2 more breaths, unlocking the base of our spine. 1. Inhaling into our warrior 2, we'll gaze forward. We'll turn our palms forward. Let's extend our arms, bend our elbows. Elbows and palms connect, or maybe right elbow on top for our eagle arms. Stacking wrist over elbows, we stack the joints so our thumbs don't hit our forehead. Let's lift our elbows more into line with our eyes. Inhale, we'll pivot our torso forward. Inhale, we'll pivot our left toes. With our next inhale, we elongate parallel to the floor. We'll transition to our right foot, finding warrior 3 with our eagle arms. We walked back into warrior 3 balance. Now we've got eagle arms. Rounding from our spine to our heart, the opposite of opening our chest, as we did in our tree. 3 more breaths. 2 more breaths in warrior 3 with eagle arms. 1. Exhale, we'll undo. Hands rest under our shoulders, crown of our head descends. Inhale, we'll open our left hip, creating a large pyramid with our 2 hands and right foot. Stay here, strengthen flexibility, or soften that right leg, allowing the hands to rest a little bit closer to or in contact with the right leg. Finding where your body would like to be for 3 more breaths. 2. 1. Exhale, larger pyramid. We'll soften our right knee. We'll step that left leg back. Step our right. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. Stay here. Or lift our left leg high. Maybe come up onto the ball of our right foot. Perhaps with an exhale, we draw our left knee to our right elbow for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, left leg high. We'll look to our hands and we'll step our left foot forward into our lunge. Cover the right up 45, heel to heel, hands to prayer by our left big toe. Inhale, our legs are strong. Exhale, we float up, straightening our left leg. We'll melt our shoulders down our back, arm shoulder width interlaced. We sweep our hands back. Preparing for warrior 1 with the option of our hands. Let's soften our left knee, bring our knee over our ankle, femur closer to parallel. Inhale, finding our warrior 1. Hot air balloon lifting our heart to the sky. Shoulders melting down our back, whether we have our humble warrior arms, goalpost, arms parallel, or interlaced. 3 more breaths wherever we are. 2, heart lifting to the sky, shoulders melting down our back. 1. Inhale, traditional warrior 1. Exhale, opening again to our warrior 2, palms up. Inhale, left arm slides forward a little. Exhaling into our reverse warrior once again. Stretching from left hip to shoulder, lengthening right hip to heel. 2 more breaths wherever we are. 1. Inhaling back into our warrior 2. We'll gently turn our gaze in the direction of our heart, turn our palms in the direction of our heart. We'll extend our arms, bending our elbows. Elbows and palms connect, or maybe left elbow on top. Stacking elbows and wrists. Lifting elbows to the level of our eyes. Rounding from our spine to our heart, we pivot our heart forward, we pivot our right toes forward. Inhale, our forearms come close to parallel. Balancing at our left leg, right heel reaching back. 3 more breaths in Warrior 3 balance with our eagle arms rounding from our spine to our heart. 2 more breaths and we'll find our scissor. 1. Exhale, deep bend in our knees, hands shoulder width or wider apart. Crown of our head surrenders. We inhale and open our right hip. Stay here. Or soften the left knee a little and begin to walk our hands closer to or in contact with the leg, finding balance rather than only strength and flexibility. Deciding which component we're working on today. 3 more breaths. 2. 1. Exhale, soften our knees, hands a little bit wider. Stride back with our right and then our left. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. We can stay here with our big toes touching. Or lift our right leg high. Maybe come up onto the ball of our left foot. Perhaps with an exhale, our right knee taps our elbow, or we find a hurdle balancing for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, right leg high. We'll look to our hands and we'll step our right foot forward into our lunge. Pivot the left up 45, heel to arch, prepare for triangle. Right hand rests on our foot or a shin or a block at the bed of our calf muscle. With an inhale, we'll lengthen from right big toe to hip, draw down left hip to our heel. Our left hand will slide our right rib to our thigh. We'll stack the left rib on top and we'll extend our left arm to the sky. Inhale, our chin looks towards our right shoulder. We lift and lower our right toe. Exhale, our chin looks to the left. We lift and lower our left toe. If our left hand is behind the seam in our shirt, we'll take a half bind. If we want more from our lower back, we could extend one or both arms forward, imagining we're holding a beach ball. Dynamic limbs or weightless limbs. Lifting and lowering the right toes gets in the hamstring a little more. Lift and lowering the left toes, the IT band. 3 more breaths wherever we are. 2, 1. Let's undo any bind we have. Inhale, our left arm reaches high. Exhale, we cartwheel our hands down, step back into our plank. Right thigh parallel. Let's walk our hands back until they rest under our shoulders. We'll keep our right hand as it is, left hand on our hip. Inhale, the right heel reaches back. With an exhale, the right shoulder subtly lowers, the left shoulder subtly lifts, our thighs draw to one another. And we find that twisted half moon. 3 more breaths wherever we happen to be. Our body's a nice long line. From our tailbone through the crown of our head, finding that rotation through our heart for 2. Stacking the joints in our arms for 1. Exhale, deep bend in our knees. We'll walk ourselves out into our plank. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. We can stay here or lift our left leg high. Maybe come up onto the ball of our right foot. Perhaps with an exhale to our left knee to tap our elbow or find a hurdle balancing for 3, 2, 1. Inhaling into our downward facing dog. We'll look to our hands and we'll step our left foot forward into our lunge. And we'll pivot our right foot up 45, heel to arch, preparing for triangle, left hand on our foot or shin. Inhale, we lengthen left big toe to our hip, lengthen right hip to heel. We'll have our right hand slide our left rib to our thigh, stacking our right rib on top, and we'll reach our right arm to the sky. Inhale, we'll look down to our left shoulder, lift and lower our toes. Exhale, we'll turn our chin to look up to our right shoulder, we lift and lower our right toes. Maybe we take a half bind. Maybe we extend one or both arms forward. Imagining the right foot resting on a baseboard, finding strength. Lifting, lowering our toes as needed. 3 more breaths wherever we are. 2 more breaths. 1. Let's undo any bind we have. Inhale, right arm reaches high. Exhale, we cartwheel our hands down, step back into our plank, left thigh parallel. We'll walk our hands back till they rest under our shoulders, left hand under our shoulder, right hand under hip. Inhale, the crown of our head extends. Exhale, the left shoulder subtly lowers, the right shoulder subtly lifts. We can stay here with our hand on our hip or extend our arm. Think of stacking the joints in our arms. Think of a long line from our left heel through the crown of our head, finding the rotation around our heart for 3 more breaths. 2. 1. Exhale, deep bend in our knees, hands under our shoulders. We'll walk ourselves out into our plank. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. And in our down dog, we'll lift up high on our tippy toes. We'll take a deep bend in our knees, chest to our thighs. Shoulders lift to our hips, return our armpits towards our yogi mat neighbors. And then we extend our legs, finding just a little extra space in our upper back. Let's all surrender our knees to the ground. And we'll walk our hands till they rest under our shoulders. Let's turn our left palm to face the sky. We'll slide our left hand through the space created by our right limbs. We'll pause when the left shoulder is near our right hand. If our right hip starts to slide and do the hula, we'll bring it back into alignment with our knee. Let's extend the right arm forward, rotating our heart. More effort in that left leg than the right. Eyes open or closed, right arm extends. Maybe right fingertips pressing into the ground by our eyes. Maybe the back of our hand on our sacrum where we reach for that left thigh. We find what's right for 3 more breaths. More weight in our left than our right leg for 2. 1. With an exhale, we'll strongly press our right fingertips into the ground by our eyes. We'll bring ourselves to all fours. Finding a cat, inhale, tucking your chin, tucking your tail. Exhaling into our cow, finding our neutral spine. We'll turn our right palm up, sliding that right hand through the space. Pausing when the right shoulder is near our left hand. Bring more weight to that right leg. Inhale, we slide our left arm forward. Maybe place our hand on the floor by our eye. Maybe the left hand to our sacrum or our right thigh. Rotating our thoracic spine, expanding our chest, eyes open or closed. 3 more breaths wherever we are. 2. 1. Let's all meet with that left hand strongly pressing into the floor by our eyes. We'll gently bring ourselves to upright. Once again, finding our way to all fours. Inhaling into our exaggerated cat, tucking our chin, tucking our tail. Exhaling into our cow. We'll find that neutral spine, and we'll roll onto one hip or another, no preference. And once we've rolled onto one hip or another, let's have our left knee bend, have our left knee aiming forward, and we'll cross our right leg over that left thigh. Strong right foot, left elbow hugs our right knee, strong right hand by our tailbone. Inhale, our right limbs press into the ground. We create space between our vertebrae. Exhale, we turn our belly, our heart, and our gaze. We can keep the hug or take the bent elbow. The hug gets into the glute. The bent elbow gets more into that thoracic spine, finding what's right. Inhale, elongating. Exhale, finding where that space lets us go. 1 more breath. With an exhale, we'll find our counter twist, right hand to our arch, left hand behind us. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we turn our belly, heart, and gaze. Inhale, uncoil, return back to center. Let's uncross and then recross, pretzeling up our body. Right knee aiming forward, left leg crossing behind. Giving ourselves a hug, left hand presses into the ground. Inhale, we strongly press into the ground with our hand and foot, creating space. Exhale, we see where the space allows us to go, turning our belly, our heart, and our gaze. We can stay with the hug to get into the glute. We could bend the elbow to get into the thoracic spine. 3 more breath cycles, moving at the pace that our body takes us. 2 more. 1. With the next exhale, we return back to center, left hand by our arch, right hand behind us. Inhale, we elongate. Exhale, we'll turn our belly, our heart, and our gaze. Inhale, we'll return back to center. Let's draw the soles of our feet together in Baddha Konasana. We'll interlace our fingers around our little toes. Inhale, sitting tall, elongating our spine. Exhale, bending our elbows wide, lengthening the crown of our head forward, shoulders aiming to our hips, navel drawing to our spine. And then opening our feet in like we're opening a book. We're trying to maintain a long ruler-like spine rather than our nose connecting with our toes. We wish the crown of our head to reach for the wall in front of us. Our elbows can continue to aim to our knees, so we can bring our forearms to the ground to decide what's best for your body today. 3 more breaths or so, wherever we happen to be. Two more breaths. 1. Let's keep our book open. With an inhale, we'll elongate a distance apart behind us, fingers aiming forward. Inhale, we'll draw our navel to our spine, bend our elbows back. Exhale, spread effort between our 10 fingers, sternum lifts high, shoulders roll to our ears and down our back. And the more we press the little toe sides of our feet into one another, the more we can unlock the base of our spine as we're expanding our chest. 3 more breaths wherever we are. 2. 1. With an exhale. 1. With an exhale, bend our elbows, gently restack our spine. We can take our hands to our knees. We'll let our tiptoes touch the ground. Shoulders roll to our ears and down our back. Our hands can rest on the floor to keep our sternum elevated or underneath our thighs. Reach for our calves, maybe our toes, maybe our arms outstretched, balancing for 5. You got it. 4, looking past our feet. 3, 2, 1. Heels descend, toes up. Our arms reach for an imaginary mirror image. And that mirror image is giving us a rope and 1 vertebra at a time. We're slowly releasing down to the ground. When we connect with the ground, let's tuck the right thigh into our chest, extend the left leg, finding the thigh, aiming to our chest, finding that forward fold, stretching our lower back. Taking a moment to point and flex, rotate and wiggle that right foot, taking tension away. We'll let our right foot rest on our left thigh, left arm to the outside of our leg, right arm extends out from our shoulder, palm up. Inhale, we'll fill our chest. With an exhale, we'll aim our right knee to the left, while we aim our closed eyes to the right. Dynamic left leg as if we're standing on our leg in tree. Stay here for medium. Tuck the left knee under the right for a little bit more comfort. Extend the right leg and connect with the left hand for a little more in the IT bend. Bend the left knee and have the right hand connect with the foot for a little bit more for the quad. Pretzel yourself as much or as little as you would like. 3 more breaths, not losing track of that thoracic spine. Inhale, filling your chest. Exhale, rotating our rib cage towards the mat. 2 more breaths. 1. With an exhale, let's meet with our knees stacked. We use our core strength. We'll bring ourselves to center, finding that forward fold, strengthening, lengthening that lower back, pointing, flexing, rotating, wiggling. Then let's place the left foot on our right thigh, right arm to the outside of our leg, left arm extends. Inhale, we fill our chest. Exhale, we'll aim our knee to the right, turning our closed eyes to the left. Inhale, filling our left lung with air. Exhale, rotating our rib cage and our navel towards the mat. Stay here at medium. Tuck the right knee under for a little less. Extend the right leg or right arm and left leg for a little more for the RT band. Bend the right knee and have the left hand capture the foot for more for the quad. 3 more breaths. Inhale, filling our left lung. Exhale, rotating our rib cage and navel to the mat. 2, 1. With an exhale, let's tuck our knees in. We use our core strength. We'll bring ourselves to center. We'll hold behind our thighs. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, we'll curl our head, neck, and shoulders to our knees, finding a nice little bow with our bodies. And we'll allow our torso to descend. One at a time, we extend our legs forward. One at a time, we reach our hands back. Interlacing our thumbs, reaching our fingers and toes away from the midline. And with an exhale, we let it all go, sliding our hands along the floor, resting palms up 8 inches from our side body, sliding our legs out to rest mat distance apart. Heels in, toes out. Finding our Shavasana. And staying here for a few breaths. Feeling the support of the floor underneath us. Three more breaths or so. 2, 1.
Good, stop there.
Let's gently tuck our thighs into our chest. We'll hold behind our thighs. We'll point and flex, rotate, wiggle, release any tension from our jaw. We'll allow our torso to descend. And we'll begin to rock from side to side to side to side. Eventually resting on our right hand side and open and close our eyes. Preparing ourselves for the rest of our day.
Good. Ethan says half.
Let's press our left hand into the floor and then our right. Gently guiding ourselves up. Finding our simple cross leg. Lotus, half lotus, or Virasana. The cat found its way in during the end of our practice. We find that simple cross leg, lotus, half lotus, or Virasana hero's pose wherever our body would like to be. Let's lift our shoulders to our ears, roll them down our back, and close our eyes as our palms face the sky. Let's imagine there's a golf ball on our left shoulder, our left ear will lift up and over. Right fingers with a feather-like touch, breathing and swallowing. Lengthening and opening. Inhale, our chin to parallel, right hand descends. Now our golf ball's on our right shoulder. Our right ear will lift up and over, left fingers with a feather-like touch. Breathing and swallowing. Lengthening and opening. With an inhale, bring our chin back to parallel, both hands descend. Shoulders roll to our ears and down our back, and as our shoulders extend to the wide edges of our mat, our chin becomes heavy, folding to our chest, letting the back of our neck lengthen through gravity. Let's bring our palms to prayer at our heart, and namaste. And thank you for joining me in our practice today.
All right, I'm gonna ask
Thank you for joining me in my home.
What are some characteristics
And as we work together to practice and to figure out all the technology, I know it's going to continue to improve. So give me any suggestions you'd like for future classes or any tech tips that you have. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.